Hi friends, welcome back to Laravel Ajax tutorial. In this video, we're going to create a Ajax CRUD operation, right? So we'll add the datatable, create data. So just like here, suppose Mike. So right here, mike@email.com, and just click on save. So it will appear directly into the list. And if you check the database, we can see there is a result inside here. And we can edit these things. Suppose I want to add this Johnny to John, so just change the name and change the email and let's save. So you can see the records are updated, and finally we can delete, right? So all the things see in this video, and please like and subscribe this channel, and let's see the full video, right? Hi friends, welcome back to Laravel tutorial. In this video I will going to show you the Ajax CRUD operation using Laravel 8. So for this, just go to the Laravel site, and there is the document. So I will use the Laravel latest version. So if you just go and see, this is the latest version. So first I will install the Laravel. So just install. So write composer. I will install through the composer. So write composer, create project, and Laravel/Laravel, and the project name, right? Suppose my project name is Ajax CRUD. Okay, so simply just write here Ajax CRUD. So just enter this. So it will install the Laravel application inside the var www.html file. So this is my actually the HTML directory. This is a server. So these are actually installing, right? So it's still installing, and the installation finished, right? So installation successful. Now just go inside the project. So this is the Ajax CRUD, and just open this Visual Studio Code. So write code dot. So basically it will open the code base, right? So we'll use the Visual Studio Code to develop the Ajax CRUD operation. And now run the server php artisan server. So the project is running inside this link. So just copy and paste it here, right? So little zoom out. So this is the home page of the Laravel. So we are using the PHP 7.4 and Laravel 8.51. okay, so this is actually the latest version of Laravel. So first of all, we need to configure the database with my application. So just go inside the localhost phpMyAdmin, and suppose the database name. So I am writing the same name, that is Ajax CRUD. So just create this. So this is the blank database. So now let's configure the database inside the env file. So .env file. So here you can see the DB connection, that is we will use the MySQL, the host name and the port name, and the database name is the Ajax CRUD, and here the database username, that is root, and my password also root. So if you have no password, you can leave this field blank, right? So this is my username and password. So now the database is configured. So let's create another tab and just migrate the database, php artisan migrate. So basically it will migrate the basic tables actually inside the database folder. Inside the migration, we can see there are default migration files. Basically these are provided from the Laravels. When we install, we are getting this, and we migrated these 3 files. So you can see these 3 files are migrated, and now let's check. So we can see the 3 tables are migrated, and this migration table is the default migration table. Basically this table is Laravel's own table to follow up all the tables, right? So basically this table responsible to track all the records or all the tables, right? So migration is done. Suppose here I want to create Ajax CRUD application. Suppose I want to create student management, right? So there will have student table, and we have student controller, and we will add some data through the Ajax. So let's create the controller. So just write php artisan make controller, make colon controller, suppose my controller name is student controller, right? And here I want to use the resource controller also, so that we can get all the CRUD related function along with this, right? So write resource, resourc. Okay, so controller created successfully. So let's see what created. So we don't need the env file, so I'm closing this now. And if we just go inside the app, http controllers, so we can see the student controller, and we can see there is some functions also created as we are using the resource controller. So just use the index and create and store. So basically we can see, so the from for creating a new resource, that is the create, and there is store to store the data, and there's so to edit some data, right? So all are basically created as we created the resource controller. So now just create a model. So how we can create this? So php artisan make model. So my model name is suppose student, right? And we will use the -m. So I want to use the migration also. So model created and the migrated created. So now just go to the Visual Studio Code, and here you can see inside the models we will get the student. So this is the model name. And the next things is, so if you just go to the database section and migration, we will get a new migration file, that is the create student table migration. Okay, so basically this will be responsible to create a table. So this is the migration table. So I will show you all the things step by step. So just create table id, so no id, so it will be the string type. Suppose I want to add a column, the name, right? So right here name, and in the same way I want to add another column, that is table string, and the column name is suppose email, right? So two columns are added. Now let's migrate this. So php artisan migrate. So these are also migrated. So let's see what happened inside the database. So just you can see the student table is created. So this is the structure, and currently we have no records inside the student table. All right, so these things are done. Now we need to add one things inside the model. So if you just go inside the model, so there is two fields, that is name and email, and I am declaring these two things as a fillable. So same thing, write protected and fillable, right? So this is the Laravel default variable, that is fillable variable, and if you write in this, we can get that is name and email. So basically I am adding the name and email as a fillable. Okay, so this is the student controller, and let's create the list first. So for now we need some data inside the student table. So first of all I am adding 2-3 data manually, and after the create operation is done we will create through the application. Okay, so let's insert 2-3 datas. So write name David, and the email is david@email.com, and the same way write John, and john@email.com. Okay, so I'm just adding 2 records. So I want to see the list first, right? So first of all we need to create a router link, and we can see the list, and we can see the list of these 2 records from here, right? So first create, as it is the resource controller, so simply we can include the resource route, so that inside this resource route we will get all the things. So just go inside the routes and web.php, and just here we will include the student controller, right? So here just go the path. So this is the namespace path app http controllers. So just include this. So write use app http controllers and the class, that is student controller, right? So all are added, and now we will add the resource. So write route and resource, and suppose the link is students, sorry spelling mistake, students, and name the controller. So my controller name is student controller class. Simply, so in this way we are added all the routes which are inside these functions. Now just see what happens. So if you just go to the index and suppose to write return hi, I am from index, right? And let's see what happens. So if you just go here, the students link, so just write the students. Sorry, there is a error, array to string conversion, so just check. Okay, so as it is a resource controller, we don't need to write these things, so just refresh this. So we are getting the output, hi, I am from index. Okay, so let's create a view file from here. So I am just removing the migration file. Also we do need the student model, though I am taking this here, right? So just create a view, suppose so right here return view, and suppose the view name is also students. Okay, so let's create the view, that is students view. So just go inside the resource and inside the views, so right here students dot blade dot php. Okay, so this is the HTML file, that is the view file. So just include HTML broiler template and just type here, that is Laravel 8 Ajax CRUD. Okay, so you can see anything. And let's create, suppose inside the body just write h1 tag, and inside the h1, so here just write student list. Okay, so basically we will use the bootstrap. So let's see what happen. So you can see the student list. So basically we will use the bootstrap so that it will be more beautiful to create any view file. So just go here getbootstrap.com and get started, and simply just use the css and just paste this here before the head tag close, and this is the js, right? So just write here before the body tag close. Okay, and inside here we will create the container class. So write container and just cut this and paste inside the container section, and just create a table. So inside the table we will print, so right here table, and inside the table we will add all the things. So just will print all the records from the database inside the table. So here just write the class, that is class is table. So basically I am using the bootstrap table. Okay, so right here table bordered, and here just write t head and close the t head, and then t body, and then close the t body. Okay, so inside the body section we will get all the body, and inside the tier section we will set the column. So just set the column first. So just close tier, and inside here I just write the th, that is the t head, suppose number, and close the th. So just copy these things 2 times. So right here name and email, right? So just go here, we can see the you can see the number, name and email is appear. Okay, so I will add an extra one field, that is the action. So we will use the CRUD operation. So we need the edit and delete, so all the things will appear inside here, and we will do in this way. So this is the action column. So as directly get the value from here, so basically we will use the Ajax data table also. So just go to the Google and write Ajax data table CDN, right? So just go here and just copy the CDN. So this is the CSS. So just copy this So just copy this and paste this on the top section. So include the CSS, so write link href and the link and relation style sheet. Okay, and we will add the datatable JS also. So just copy this and just write after the bootstrap is added, right? So here we will use the script, and inside the script just write src and paste the datatable cdn and close the src. Okay, and for this, close the script. And to use the jQuery datatable min.js, we need to use the jQuery cdn. So this is the mother of all things. So if we don't use the jQuery cdn, we cannot use the jQuery, so that we cannot call all the things, right? So just copy the minified version and paste it on the top of the all.js, right? So all things are added, and now we need to use the controller and we need to fetch the record from the student table, right? So basically we will use the Ajax data table. So let's declare the Ajax data table, how it's calling. So here simply just call the functions from the controller and we'll add the condition. So using the index function, we will fetch the record and we'll display the list, right? So here just write script type equal to text slash javascript and close the script tag, and inside here we'll use the data table. So first of all, to use the data table, we need to add any selector. So here is the table border. So I am using another class. Suppose the class is data table. So just just copy the data table and we'll call the data table using the class. So right here I am taking a variable table equal to dollar, and as we are using the class, so we need the dot, and let's call the data table. So write data table. Okay, and inside here we'll create a closer function. So first of all, this will be the server side. So right here server side. So we are using the Ajax, right? So we need to use the server side equal to true, and also the processing also true, and we'll call the Ajax. So right here Ajax, and we'll call the routes. So here simply add the route. So route, and we'll call students dot index, right? And we'll set the columns. So right here columns, and inside the columns we'll add multiple column. So add this here. So in this way we can write, suppose dt, and right here dt row index. So basically it will be the index. So actually we are setting the name as a no, that is the number. So right here row index, and the name will be the dt row index. So I will use the name and data, right? And in this way we will create a multiple. So just copy this and paste it 3 times, as we have the total 4 records. So here just will pass the name, and it will be the name, and the same way it will be email, and this is the email. Okay, so basically we are using the number, name, email, and finally we need the action, right? So right here action, and also the name will be the action. So all are set. So we will call students on index through the Ajax. Okay, so let's check is the route is exist or not. So actually we are using the resource. So let's check whatever the routes exist or not. So right here php artisan route list, so you will get all the list here. So if you just go and check, so you can see the index, that is student dot index, right? So we are using the get. Okay, so now just go to the student controller, and by default it's loading the students view. So here we'll add a condition. So if the index function is called through the Ajax, we'll fetch the record and we'll print the data, right? So let's add the condition. So write if the request arrow Ajax, right? So it will check the request is coming from the Ajax or not. So we need to use the request here. So request $request, then we'll add our logic. So here we'll fetch some data. So now let's fetch all records from the student table. So we'll use the model, that is the namespace is app models. So right here use app models and the model name, so the model name is student. So just copy this and paste it here, right? So we'll basically fetch all the records. So right here student and simply write get. So basically it will fetch all the records from the student table. So right here students, so basically I am storing all the students data inside the students variable, and let's use the data table. So I am using suppose all data, the another variable, and here just write datables and then of the students, right? And then add index column. First we need to add this column, that is add index column, and then add column column, and here just write action and create a function. Okay, so actually that will be the closer function. So just write row and just create this function. So inside here we'll create two buttons. So first of all we need the edit button and the delete button. So basically we'll display the edit button and delete button here. So write $btn equal to the anchor tag. So we'll create here. So write a href equal to, I will use the JavaScript, so we don't need to add anything into the href section. So it is actually a Ajax CRUD operation. So just write JavaScript void 0, that means it will not redirect to anywhere, and here write data toggle equal to tooltip, and then we'll pass the ID. So write data ID, and we'll get the ID from this row. Basically this row are processing these students, right? So the data ID equal to the row ID. So just write in this way inside the first limit comma. So just use row ID, row arrow ID. And the next thing we need to use, and I will add some another properties. So I will explain this why I am adding this. So first add this to see the list, and after that I will explain why I am adding this type of things. So just write here edit. So basically this will be the title of the edit button, and we are using the Bootstrap, so we can use the Bootstrap class to see more beautifully. So just write the class name edit. So basically this is not a Bootstrap class, so we'll basically use this edit to open the edit functions, right? So this is the Bootstrap class button, and the button is primary, right? So this is the Bootstrap class button primary, and I want to use the small button. So write button sm. Okay, and I need another class, that is edit student, and finally we need to add the label, so that is the edit, right? And close the anchor tag. Okay, and in the same way we'll do this for the delete also, so write here delete, and for instead of edit student we are adding the delete student. And for button primary we can use the button danger, and here the id will be the same, that is the row id, and just write here the delete, right? And we'll concatenate this variable, so just simply use the dot. Okay, and finally we'll return the btn variable from the functions. Okay, so basically this will call for each students, right? And then we need to do, so right here raw columns, and here just write the action. Okay, so basically we will set this into here. Okay, so this is the action, that's the reason we need to use the action, and just use this make true. Okay, and so all things are done. So now we need to return the final all data, so right here return all data. Okay, so all are done, and the next things we need to pass this, so write compact, and here is the variable, that is students variable. Okay, so all are done. Now here the thing is we need to use the yajra data table. So first of all we need to use the yajra data table cdn. Just go to the Google and search yajra data table Laravel, right? So for Laravel we will see, so this is simply GitHub link, so basically this is the yajra data table link. So now if we just go here, so to install this we need to use this syntax, so just go here and paste this. So basically it will install the yajra data table, so it's downloading and it's installed. Now if we just go into the config app.php, so here we have providers and the aliases. Okay, so basically we will use the yajra table providers name here, so just copy from this and paste anywhere from inside the providers. So inside the provider we add it, and we need to add the aliases. Actually we need aliases because we will call these data tables whenever we need, right? So this section is complete. Now if you just go to the browser and let's refresh, so what happened? So here we can see the warning, so data table Ajax error. So just go to the console and let's refresh. So what is the error? So the error is the internal server error, that is the response error. So actually we need to pass the CSRF token along with this. Actually in Laravel we need CSRF token to pass this. So here we'll just set the header, that is the CSRF token. So just go here and at the top of the section, so first declare a function, so right here function, and inside this we'll use all the things. So inside this function we will use this, and also we'll set the header here, so just write in this way, so just little beautiful, so just write here. Okay, so here we'll set the header. So how we can set this? So just use the $Ajax setup, so $.Ajax setup, and we'll set the header. So here just inside this we'll set headers, and just use the CSRF token inside the header. So first x CSRF token, so write token, and we'll write here dollar, and simply here write meta, and the name, that is what is the name of the CSRF token, so write name equal to the CSRF token. Okay, so these are set, and the final is attr attribute, and here write the content. Okay, so header is set and we are calling this from inside the functions. So now just go to the browser and let's refresh this. So still there is error. Actually the datables warning. So I forget to call the datables here. So right, so just use the data tables. So actually we have just added datables inside the config app. So just refresh this, we can see the two records, right? So the list appears, so we can see the list. So we are getting the david@email.com and John. So we have the two record, we insert manually. Now we need to add the record through dynamically. So we'll create a create button here, and by clicking on this we'll just add this, right? So all things will be done through the Ajax, right? So how we can do this? So let's create a simple button. So just go inside the blade file. So this is the student blade, and just here create a button. So I will use the bootstrap class. So write class equal to button, and suppose I want a green type button, so use the button success. And here just will create a href, and as it is a Ajax CRUD, so we don't need any link. So just use javascript void 0, right? And we will create a add here. So simply write add. Okay, so as we are using the jQuery, we need to identify this anchor tag. So I need a identification, so just use the ID, and suppose write create new student. So just go here and let's see. So you can see the add button, right? So I want this add button inside the right section. So simply just write style equal to float to the right. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so add is appear. So now if you just click on this, it will not work. So we need to work this. So how we can do this? So simply just and we'll call a model, right? So just here just use the ID, that is has create new student, and when we will click, so write the click function. So we'll call a click function when we click on the create new student. So just write a closer function, and inside the closer function we'll do all the tasks related to this. So first of all we'll create a model, so that when you click on this, a model will open, and when you click on this save in this page, it will just close this and will save, and it will redirect to the listing. So all things will done inside this here. Okay, so we'll not refresh any page. So that first create a model. So just here, so this is the container div. So just closing the container div. So just create a model here. So simply just design a model. So write div, and so write dot model fade, and here we'll use the ID also. So ID equal to the Ajax model. Okay, so using this ID we will get access. Okay, and by default the area hidden equal to true, right? And inside this we will create the model dialog. So right here model dialog, dialog, basically this is the bootstrap class, and inside here we will just write model content, and inside the model content we will use the model header. So write model, so dot model header, and inside the model header we will simply add the title. Suppose here we just write h4 and just write class equal to the model title, so in this way, right? And here the title is by default blank, so we will change. So when we click on this add, we will write here the add model, or when you click on the edit, we will write the edit student. Okay, so I will just take it blank, and I am defining id for this, so that using the id we can change the name, right? So here the identification is model heading, so we'll use this model heading to change the heading of the model, right? And then finally we will declare the model body, so write model body, and here just write a from, so from, and just close the from. Okay, and suppose I will add the id of this from, so my from name is student from, all right? And the name is also I am writing the same, that is student from, and the class is anything, so just use a bootstrap class, that is from horizontal. Okay, and simply we'll create input field, it will the bootstrap class, so it will looks more better, that is the from group. And inside the from group we'll add the name, and simply write beer tag to the new line, and here simply write input type equal to text, and suppose the class is from control, so write from control, and then I am providing the id. So as we are using the Ajax, so all the time id and classes is very important, right? And the name is name. Okay, and I am setting the placeholder also, so enter name, right? And I am setting some value equal to blank, and just adding the required. Okay, so this is the HTML5. Okay, so all are done for the name. So we'll do this for the email also, so just copy this and write here email, and id will be the email, and name will be email, and enter email, right? So let's see how it looks like now. So just refresh this and create an add. So basically it will not open, actually we're not calling this model, so just go here inside the create new student section, and here just write the id, and here we'll just call the model, so the model name is Ajax model, so basically we'll display this, right? So just go here and has Ajax model dot model, so this is the model, and we'll write the show, right? So now if we just go here and let's click on add, so we can see the name and email, right? So we need a heading and we need a button. So for this we have also created a model heading, so I will set the model heading, so just go here and add the heading, suppose model heading dot html, so simply here write add student. Okay, and initially when we add any student, by default the id will be the blank because we don't have any id, but when we click on the edit it will have a id. That's the reason I am taking a hidden id here, and will manage the add and edit with the same model from. Okay, so just create a input field, so write input type equal to the hidden, and suppose name equal to the student id, and also the id is most important things, the id is student id. Okay, and we don't need nothing here, and just call the student id. So here we'll set student id is always blank when we're just going to add, so right here has student id dot value equal to the blank, right? So now let's see what is appearing. just click on add. So we can see the name, suppose ABCD, email is something, but we don't have any submit button now, so we need to add this. So and create a submit button. So this is the button and type equal to the submit, right? And the button will be the green type, so we'll use the same class, that is button primary, right? And ID is, suppose I am providing the ID is save button, so we will trigger a function when you click on the save button, and suppose value equal to the create, right? And here just use the save. So this is the label of the button, right? So the value can have a small also, okay, no problem on that. So let's see what appearing. So just click on add, so we are getting the value, okay? So just write this something and just go away, okay? So just click on this, so you can see, so if we just go away the model and click again, so the value is still there, okay? So we need to reset the column, so we need to reset the field. So how we can reset this? So first of all, we know the from name is, suppose if we just go here, so the from name is student from, okay? So first we'll reset the student from, and then we'll do the later things. So just here has student from dot trigger, and we'll use the reset, okay? So now if we just refresh these and do the same things again, so and let's try, so it is clean, right? So it is not holding the previous value, right? So all things are done. So now we need to save this, okay? So as we are getting the ID, that is the save button, so when you click on this save button, basically we need to trigger functions. So how we can do this? So let's write the save button action. So here, so simply just use the save button, and here create another click functions. So just write here has save button, so as it is ID, and the same way we will use the click function, and we'll create a closer function, and inside the closer function we'll use the save. I'm using the E here, okay? And by default we need to use the E dot prevent default, okay? And just use dollar this dot html equal to save, right? And we'll call the Ajax. So simply just write dot Ajax, and inside the Ajax we'll call the store methods. So first of all we'll get all the data from the student from, so write dollar in this way, and my from name is student from, so just copy this as student from, and then we will serialize all the things. So right here serialize, so we'll get all the value from the from, and then we'll pass this from to the URL. So what is the URL? So here the URL is the store, right? So here simply use the route students dot store, okay? And URL is done. Now we have to set the type, so we will use the post types as the data is saving, and we can see we are using the resource, and we are using the resource routes. So we have the post method also, and then we'll pass the data type. So write the data type, I will pass through the JSON format, right? And the next things we'll do the success function, okay? So just here write function, okay? And just hold the data inside here, and after saving we'll just reset the student from, and we'll just hide the Ajax model. So here we have displayed the show, so here just write the hide, and we need to refresh the page also. Okay, so it will affect to the page. So just we need to use the table dot draw, right? So right here, table dot draw. Okay, so this is the function to draw the table. And if there is any error occurred, then what will we do? So just call another function, and suppose here write data, and then we will console log the error, right? So we can understand what is the error actually happening. So simply just error, and we'll print the data. Okay, then write has save button. So my button name is save button dot html equal to save, right? So all the save functionality is done. Now we need to write these functions. So just go to the student store function. So this is the store function. So here we will basically create the logic to store. So here just write the student. So this is the model we are already included, that is the student model, and just call this. And here we can use update or create, right? So basically we will use the same store function for edit and add also. So that's the reason I am using the update or create functions. And here just write the id equal to the dollar request. So already we have the request, so just use this request arrow, the hidden id which we have passed. So this is the hidden id, student id. So we'll pass, so we'll edit or update by using this. So just add the comma, and we'll pass the value. So just write name equal to dollar request arrow name, and same way just write the email. So right here email equal to dollar request arrow email. Okay, so name and email are saving. So name and email are saving, right? So now finally we will just send the response to the Ajax. So in these functions, right here, right? So just response this, return response, and this is the data type is JSON. So write simply JSON, and here just write the success, and sorry, we need to use this inside this semicolon, and then write the success message, student added successfully. Okay, so all things are done, right? Now just go here and refresh these. Suppose I want to create another name. Suppose the name is Michael, and right here Michael and @email.com. So now if we just click on save, so it's appearing. So if we just go to the database, we can see the Michael is also added, right? So add operation is done. Now we need to edit and delete. So simply we can delete this. So if we just click on delete, it will delete, right? So first of all we need to create the delete function. So as we can see inside the index, we are getting the delete button is right here. So we are using the delete student class. So if you just inspect this also, you can see we are using the delete student class. So using this class we will call the Ajax function. So just write here dollar body, and inside the body, and right here dot on click. So here in this way we need to write on click, and where will be the click? So this is the dot delete student, as the delete student is a class. So you need to write in this way and create the closure function. Okay, so inside the closure function we will actually do I will take a variable that is student ID, and the student ID is this student ID. So we are passing the ID here, that is the data ID. So just copy this, and here just write $this dot data, and what will be the ID, right? So we'll get ID from here, and we will add a confirmation message. So right here, confirm, are you sure want to delete? Okay, so just use this and just go here and let's check what is coming here. So just click on this, so error. So here you can see the confirm spelling is wrong, so right here confirm. So just refresh this and just delete. So are you sure want to delete? So we have a two option, that is cancel and OK. So if you just click on OK, we'll just delete this, right? So we'll write a Ajax, write $Ajax, and inside here we'll just simply write type equal to delete. So our request type will be the delete, and then we'll pass the URL. So the URL will be in this way. So write route and students dot store, and we'll pass the ID. So in this way, so we'll write plus to concat, and we'll pass the array and slash, and we'll pass the slash plus the student ID, right? Student ID. Okay, so we are getting from here, and let's add a success message. So write success, and if success, then create a function, and here the function is data, and after the delete we'll just draw the table. So in this way, so write table draw, and otherwise if error, we'll do the same things. So just write this, okay, error. Okay, so we don't need this, so I'm just removing this, and we need to call the controller function. So just go here and inside the destroy, so just go here, this is the destroy method, and here just call the model. So my model name is student colon find the ID. So basically we are getting the ID from the argument, and arrow delete, right? And then the success message, so in this way, so just copy from here and just paste this, and here write student deleted successfully. Okay, so just click on this delete function and click on OK. So are you sure want to delete? So click on OK. So Michael is deleted. So if we just go here, and we can see the Michael is deleted, right? So delete function is done. Now we need to do the edit functionality. Okay, so we'll call the same model when you click on this edit. So just go inside the blade, and here we'll write the another functions like this. So just write here $body, and we'll get access from the body, and here we have the on click delete student. Basically we'll write the on click edit student, right? So we are passing the edit student from here, so you can see that is edit student. So just use the edit student here, right? And we have to do the same as the save. So first of all we will store the data. So just write here student ID. Actually where we want to edit the student, so we need this ID. So right here this dot data, and right here ID. Okay, and then we'll call the get Ajax. so we'll write in this way. So here just write the URL, so route and students.index. okay, so we'll fetch the record actually, right, students.index, and then we'll concatenate, so then slash, and then we'll pass the student ID, and then we'll use slash edit, and finally we'll write the closer function, right, so just comma will be here, right, and function. okay, so this is the closer function, and here we'll just pass the data, and here we'll pass the model heading, suppose dollar model heading, so model heading will be the .html, so here will be the edit student, and we'll use, and we'll open the model, so just use the Ajax model show, so right here show, and we'll display the records. So just three things we need: the student ID, name and email. So write in this way, has student ID, so right here has student ID, and dot val equal to data dot id. Actually we are getting the result from the index, so write data id. In the same way we'll get name and email also, so write name and write email, and here also the name and email. okay, so we need to write the logic inside the controller. So just go here, and inside the edit we'll just write the logic, so this is the edit functions, and here we'll pass the id, so just write here $student equal to student, that is the model name, colon find, and what will be the, that is $id. okay, and we'll return response, and inside the response we will pass the data, so simply we'll use the JSON and the students. okay, so edit is done. Now just go here and just close the console and refresh this. So now just editing these things, so suppose I want to edit the John, so I am right here Johnny, and the email is also johnny@gmail.com. so let's click on save, so it's updated, and if you just go into the database we can see it is the updated. okay, so this is the Laravel Ajax CRUD operation, and please comment if you have any questions about this video, and this full project I will upload into the GitHub, and please comment how you like this, and please like and subscribe this channel for upcoming video. Thanks for watching this video. Have a good day.